chose this article because in science I'm learning about forces in motion and thinking about what causes speed to change and what causes or how the weight of an object influences the force on the motion. So as I was scrolling through articles on Wonderopolis, I found this article called "What is a Cannonball?" And at first, I was thinking about the two different meanings of cannonball, one being the cannonball that they used in wars in the 1700s, and the other the kind of cannonballs we did as kids in the pool. And since we've got a picture of pool here and water, I'm assuming that this is going to be the article that I want, because I'm kind of thinking about when I was a kid and I would be swimming with my cousins, how when they would jump in the pool and they were a lot bigger than me, how they would be able to make a much bigger splash than I did. So as I start, first of all, I'm just going to kind of preview the article, because that's what I do when I'm starting to read nonfiction. And the title here says, what is a cannonball? So I'm going to be learning about what is a cannonball. And I know that in Wonderopolis, they always have a few questions that they kind of focus on. So here the questions are: what is a cannonball? How do you do a cannonball? Why does a cannonball make such a big splash? And I think that this question is probably going to help me answer my question. Now, as you scroll down through this, as I kind of go, I know that these green words right here, these are just tags for other articles that might use these topics. So I don't really need to look at those right now. So I'm going to kind of scroll through here. And here we've got the wonder words, these words over here on the right-hand side. I know that if I'm not sure what any of those words mean, I can look them up and just by pressing the button. So we've got ammunition, signature, tradition, impress, technique, sphere. Okay, so I'm looking through those words, and now I'm going to scroll through. And just kind of look at what we've got in green words, some of the old piece of metal of ammunition. That must mean that they're going to talk a little bit about the old cannonballs. And as I scroll through, I'm looking to see if there's any other bold-faced words that I want to look at. All right, so it looks like I can start to read the article right now. So again, I'm thinking about what I want to learn about, which is why did my cousins who are bigger than me, were they able to make a bigger splash in the pool? So as I read this, I'm going to just start reading. Put your cannons and history books away. This wonder of the day isn't about that old black metal piece of ammunition. Instead, we're taking a closer look at a signature move you'll see at pools all over the country during the summer. So that old black metal piece of ammunition, if I press on this hyperlink, it's going to take me to a link about old cannonballs, I'm thinking, and since that's really not helping me answer my question, I'm not going to go to that link. So instead I'm going to go back and read. Instead, we're taking a closer look at a signature move you'll see at pools all over the country during the summer. That's interesting, because this word signature, I always thought that meant like when you sign your name on something. So I'm going to press signature, and a definition comes up: distinctive pattern, product, or characteristic by which someone or something can be identified. So if I go back and reread, instead we're taking a closer look at a signature move, or so it looks like it must be some kind of special move that people do at the pool. So that's a new meaning for signature for me. Playtime at the pool is a summer tradition. When the temperatures climb and the streets feel like ovens to bare feet, millions of families head to a local pool or lake to cool down in the water. Okay, and I understood all of that, so I don't need to click on any of those words. Of course, one of the most fun features of a pool or lake is the diving board. Who doesn't love to use a diving board to launch themselves toward the sky only to, kerploosh, land in water with a huge splash? For who knows how many years one of the favorite dives of children and even some adults have been the cannonball. Go to any pool or lake with a diving board and you'll most likely find a group of children trying to impress each other with their cannonball techniques and the size of their splashes. To do a cannonball, just jump from the diving board or even the side of a pool as high as possible. When you're in the air, bring your knees as close as you can to your chest. Okay, so I'm wondering about this, as high as possible. I wonder why that makes a difference, why you need to make sure you're as high as possible. Grab and hold on to your knees with both arms like you're hugging them. Tuck your chin and plunge into the water like a cannonball. The goal is to hit the water with your body shaped as much like a sphere as possible. The more like a cannonball you are, the bigger your splash will be. Alright, so I'm wondering about this. Your body's shaped like a sphere. I wonder again, why is that important? The more like a cannonball you are, the bigger your splash will be. Well, I know a cannonball is a sphere, so there must have something to do with the splashing. If you've ever wondered, I'm going to keep reading. If you've ever wondered why cannonballs make such big splashes, physics holds the answer. Okay, I'm not really sure what physics is. I know it has something to do with science. Oh, it's the science of matter and energy and their interactions. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm reading about right now. When your body, shaped like a cannonball, hits the water, it displaces a lot of water very quickly. I remember this word displaces, meaning that it kind of moves things out of the way. So I'm thinking about when your body hits the water. I'm just going to draw that circle for my body. The water kind of separates into different directions. As you plunge into the water, your body's moving force pushes the water away from all directions. Oh, I was right. That is exactly what displaces means. Okay. As you sink below the surface, your body makes an air cavity in the water. Okay, I'm not sure what a cavity is. I know a cavity, when I have a cavity in my tooth, it's a hole. Oh, it's a sizable hole, usually in the ground. Okay, so as I'm trying to get a picture of this in my head, I'm getting a picture of this in my head, that when I jump into the pool, and I jump in and I dive in and my body needs to be there. Okay, so the water is separating, and in that water then is like this hole, a cavity. Okay, the cavity is about the size of the object, which is you entering the water. Almost as soon as the cavity forms, pressure from the surrounding water causes the cavity to collapse inward. So then pressure makes this hole fall inside. All of this happens in a blink of an eye. As the water continues to rush in to fill the cavity, some of it is pushed upward as the cavity is quickly filled. This is the huge splash that you see after a cannonball. So as this collapses in here, then the water rushes in to fill that hole, and that's what causes the big splash. Scientists say that the keys to big splashes are the size of the object, the weight of the object, and the speed of the impact. So that tells me that my cousins, who are bigger than me, probably that's why they were able to make a bigger splash, because they were bigger than me and they weighed more than me. And they usually had a running start when they got started too, so they were probably faster than me too. Let's see, I'm going to keep reading. You can't do anything about your size, so focus on perfecting your form if you want to be the best cannonballer at the pool this summer. The higher you jump, hitting the water, the faster you'll be traveling when you hit the water. The tighter ball that you form with your body, the more like a sphere you'll be when you go kerploosh. As always, practice makes perfect, so get out there and make your splash. All right, so that answered my question. Now, there's other information down here. Try it out, that I know that these are some different things that might have to do with my article, but they really don't have anything to do with what I need to read right now. So I am not going to read this today, and I might come back to that later when I've got some free time and I'm just interested in learning a little bit more.